Express, right?
Yeah. I was.
You guys did
I
that
remember.
after?
Yeah, after we got done
Okay.
with you, what happened was is we were at the grocery store, and we were doing our grocery shopping, and I started feeling really, really
Lightheaded?
bad. Yeah, just out of control. Things were not I was misfiring, I guess is the word. Just things were just not operating right. And usually when that happens, I need to get some food in me now. And of course, where we were at, the only thing that's available is a McDonald's. And I was like, no, we can't go there, obviously. There's nothing on that menu. So we left there, and the first thing we ran into was Panda Express, and I'm like, we could try it, and so we went in there, and they had like 2 items I could have, and so I got those, but then the lady kept insisting I had to have something else, and I said, well, then give me the noodles, so I had a little noodles, type of thing, so.
Okay.
But that's
So all this started out in the grocery store?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And then, so you had that, and then got back to where you were on Thursday. So talk to me about on Friday and Saturday. So
That's Friday and Saturday.
Michael came back home.
Oh, Michael came home. Okay, and I don't remember what I ate that day. My memory's like.
Okay.
I just know Michael came home and I was, cooking or whatever. Then, but as far as I know, everything's okay.
So how much of a weight increase did you see on Saturday?
I don't remember. I gave you the pictures.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to see if you remember.
My memory is really, really, really bad.
Okay.
Unless I have some, that's the reason why I document the crap out of everything. Even our things here, I watch the videos because half the time I don't remember what we talked about.
Okay.
And I go home and I'll watch them and I'm like, oh yeah, he did mention that, didn't he?
Let's see here. So it would have been Saturday. You went to your mother's. Had dinner with them, full of pasta.
I kind of remember that. I know due to the situation I had something I shouldn't have. I think that's what happened.
But you changed the batteries in your scale.
Right. Oh yeah, and the scale was acting all kinds of stupid.
So on Thursday it was 185.
Right.
And then on Friday, or I should say 285, then 283.8. 283.4. Sunday, 284.6. Okay. So we had a little bit of an increase.
Yeah, Sunday I woke.
Then you came back down.
Yeah.
And then yesterday.
Yesterday was 280.
280. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, but no really big change from Wednesday to Thursday, which I would have expected to see that. Mainly because if you go to Panda Express, I was looking at some of the foods that you chose to have at Panda Express. Not all the nutritional information was on those foods.
Yeah.
Right. So what somebody did, and that's the problem with using MyFitnessPal, is it's a community database. Right. So people can just add things in. Right. And if they just add in calories and nothing else, then that doesn't really give us a lot of information.
Right.
It gives us calories, but say if it's 200 calories, but they put in no protein, no fat, and no carbohydrates, then what's the percentage of what you're getting?
Right.
Right? How much sodium? How much cholesterol? How much fiber? How much sugar?
Right.
Right? That's the bigger picture, and that's what I saw kind of on there. Calories, it's hard to tell, but sodium, I already know that's 2,000 milligrams of salt.
Yeah.
Right? And it showed on there 600. And so I knew when I went through and looked at specifically some of the foods, there was no sodium. Well, yes, there's sodium in every single food item at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Predominantly, almost in every single food. Not in every, but I'm being facetious a little bit, but exaggerating. But especially Chinese.
Yeah, they always have a lot of food, or a lot of salt.
A lot of soy, a lot of soy sauce, a lot of salt. and it's very
But
common.
I was a good girl in the fact that
Right.
I only ate a little bit of it, and then I took the rest home.
Right. Right.
Passed it
But before you did that, so let's focus on where you were at. Right? You were in a grocery store surrounded with an abundant amount of food. You chose to leave and go to Panda Express.
That probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Right?
Put it that way.
Well, no, I just want to talk through
Yeah,
and just work through that
Yeah.
because, and it's not, I think that mainly because, you know, what grocery store were you?
We're at
Target.
Target?
No, Walmart.
Walmart. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever bought anything from Walmart and actually ate it in the store and then paid for the wrapper when you got through the store? Never tried that. Okay. Right. You can do that.
I can do that.
You
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would rather have you bought, right, a box of granola bars, right, or bought a low-calorie Gatorade, right, to get you some fluid, to get you some electrolytes, and to give you a little bit of a substance, versus leaving the store, bypassing McDonald's, right, and then going to Panda Express, right. That took about 15 to 20 minutes, right. So it would have been easier just to go even down the vegetable and fruit aisle to get an apple.
Yeah.
Right. They've got all those apples right there. Right. Now, obviously, people might want to wash it off or something like that, but at least you have an abundant amount of food right there at your disposal.
Yeah.
That you could have used.
Yeah,
right?
That is pretty funny. I didn't even think about it at the time. It was.
And that's okay.
Like I said, I was misfiring, and when I misfire, who knows?
Yep.
What's going on in my brain?
Right.
And it didn't dawn on me either.
Well, just in case next time, if you don't come to that, maybe your husband can think through this. Like, you know what? We can just get a few things here.
Yeah.
Right? Get a banana. We can buy a banana because you buy it by the pound.
Yeah.
Right? Granted, it's kind of hard, but unless you weigh it and write out the weight and say, here's the pill, this is how much it weighed, right? I mean, that would be one element. And you had an apple.
Yeah.
So, not a big deal.
Okay.
Right? And then, plus they have veggie trays. There's little veggie snack trays that you can buy down the vegetable department, right? They're already prepackaged.
Yeah.
Right? That worst case scenario, you have that.
Okay.
But naturally, the worst thing to do, right, is one, go into a grocery store on an empty stomach. That is the worst thing to do. Because then you tend to buy a lot of different things you really don't want or need. You're just hungry. Right. Second thing, too, is if you experience that, the worst thing you could do is leave the store and go find something that, okay, I can have this.
Which is like the worst thing you could ever do.
So, well, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, the plan today, granted, you know, and the biggie is my son is home. And one of the challenges for Biggest Loser is to find a healthy recipe.
Okay.
But you haven't never done before, and make that. And so I was talking to my son, asking him, well, what should I make? You know, because I know he's hungry, and I like to make something that's going to fill him up. Ended up with it was supposed to be beef stock.
Okay.
But what I did is all the ingredients I just put whole of instead of a half a cup of this and a cup of that, so you can get a whole bunch of broth. I just put that whole, you know, like it said celery, I put a whole bunch of celery in there. I put a whole bunch of onion and tomato and that kind of thing in there. And of course beef. And so I just made it like a big beef stew out of it. And then I demonstrated with a video how to strain it and all that kind of stuff. You can still get the broth out of that soup. And so my son was a lot happier. But in our conversation, he says, I would love to have a potato soup, but I know I don't want to ruin you guys' what you're trying to do. You guys are trying to be healthy and everything. And I started thinking, well, let me think of what on that.
How old is your son?
He's 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he know how to cook?
Yeah. But he doesn't know how to cook mom stuff. It's like your mom makes the best whatever. You gotta have what mom makes.
I'm glad my mom really wasn't that good of a cook. My dad was.
Oh, okay. Well, then your dad did. Yeah, so I started thinking, okay, well, instead of using heavy cream, I can use no fat, half and half, and instead of as many potatoes, maybe using half and more onion versus, you know, like for every potato I don't put in there, I'm gonna put an onion in there, and not make it as thick as he likes the potato soup so thick that you put your spoon in there, stand straight up.
The hungry man soup.
Yeah, and Michael, however, likes it more soupy. You know, it's a soup, it should be soupy. So I thought, well, I can make it more, put more broth in there or something like that. Basically change it around so it's healthier, where it's more compatible. I might have a little bit of it, but I'll have to check out what the calories on it, see what it is.
And your starches, especially from the potatoes.
And all that kind of stuff, because it's...
So with Michael being home, and how long is he home?
Well, this time he's home for a week.
Okay, and where did he go?
He goes to Fort Collins.
Oh, he's up at CSU.
Yeah.
CSU.
Okay, so then he goes back up to school.
Right.
Okay, all right. So I can see the idea behind Mom wanting to make some of his favorite foods, because that's the purpose of coming home, being around family. So
yeah, and he's been pretty good about letting it be healthy. It's one of those. He's trying to learn how to allow us to be what we're doing. With the watching weights and eating healthier and that kind of stuff. And every now and then he teases. He goes, "I want something that's not healthy." Because I told him I was heading for the grocery store because I needed to go get something, and I was heading to the health food store because it's the only place I can get it.
Right.
And so I said, "Is there anything you want me to get?" And he goes, "Anything that's not healthy." But I'm going to a health food store. How do I do that?
Right.
So, but usually for him, we'll buy a couple of single serving pizzas or something like that, or a couple of things.
When those things are in the house, where's your tendency for you or for you to eat it?
He's more likely to eat it than me.
I have cut back quite a bit on some of those. If they're there, I'm not even looking at those pizzas anymore. And if I want my pizza, I'll go, basically out to the bases. Anthony Pizzas is out there. We usually have a slice or two of theirs. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, the reason why I ask those questions, because obviously, being a parent, which I am, right? My kids want certain things and so forth. Especially as they get older and become adults, right? The choice for them to make those decisions is obviously their own. Right? Where I'm trying to work what I would like to see you do and say, Michael, this is, I know you want those things. Right? I know you don't want some healthy food. Right? You have complete, clear, and control and decision making to go to the store and buy the things that you want. Right? I should not have to buy those things for you. If those are the things that you want, then go buy those things. Right? Especially if you're wanting a double cheeseburger, then go to McDonald's and get your double cheeseburger. But I'm not going to make that. Right? So I think what you have to do is establish a good boundary that's protecting you. Right? And second thing, he's not being purposefully disrespectful. Right? That's not what he's doing. Right? He's just being a kid and wanting what he wants from his mom and dad. Right? What we have to recognize too is, like, you're 23 years old. You have to respect what we're doing, and yeah, okay, I'll eat a little bit of this, and I'll eat a little bit of that because that's what mom and dad are doing, right? But then if he's wanting those things outside of that, then he needs to be respectful and mindful that, I'm an adult. I can go get those things. I don't need my mom to buy those things for me. Mom's trying to do this for her. Why would I want to have mom go against what she's doing just to appease me? Right? It's not really kind of a two-way street at that point. Right?
Well, on the most part, it's like that. Well, like yesterday, we were wondering where he went off to, and kind of find out he had gone to the grocery store and bought a bunch of stuff.
Good.
Today or was it yesterday? Oh, I had to run to the store real quick yesterday because I was making this stew, and I realized I was missing a couple of items.
Right.
And he made the comment, a couple of pizzas wouldn't go amiss. Because tomorrow's shopping day. So when I go to do the grocery shopping tomorrow, or which is be today, I might grab a couple of frozen pizzas for it.
Well, when you grab those frozen pizzas, I want you to do something for me. I want you to read. Are you comfortable now? Are you reading labels and?
Oh yeah, I'm reading labels. I don't eat the pizzas. I just buy them for him.
Good. But what I want you to do is I want you to read the labels while you're buying it, and then I want you to communicate that to Michael. Michael, did you know this has X, Y, Z? Just in case you weren't aware, but this is what's in it. This is how many calories that's in it, right?
And that one pizza is actually 2 servings, not 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So that way he's informed.
Yeah.
right? And maybe he'll make a decision that, okay, that's fine, I still want it. That's fine. That's an informed decision at least.
Yeah.
Right? You're making your own choice, but without knowing it, you're just making a choice, not knowing the consequences of those choices.
Right.
That's the point that I think it needs to be communicated to him. And again, you're not trying to make him feel like he's 16 or 12 or so forth. You're just saying, this is our house, this is what we're trying to do. If you want to eat that stuff, fine, but I think you at least should know what you're eating.
Yeah, look at the labels and make sure.
Right, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And this is what we're trying to do for our health and what we're trying to do for our lives, so that way we can get this weight off.
Yeah.
That way he's going to be hopefully a little bit more respectful. Right? Again, it's not that he's being disrespectful. He's just not being mindful.
Yeah.
Right, to those things.
How did he put it? He says, I'm in my rebellious 20s.
Right. That should not be at your expense.
That's true. That's true. It's one of those, we have an interesting relationship. I've always taught my kids that they can speak their mind. Unfortunately, they do. Type of thing. And so even now, there's been a time or two this last week where we were having a conversation, and I just started laughing because he's being a brat and mouthing off a little bit, and I just started laughing. He goes, "What's so funny?" And I was thinking how my mother would have beaten me down the stairway if I ever said anything like that to her, and he feels comfortable enough to say those things to me,
right.
But he understands. It's one of those, we have an understanding of the relationship type of thing. Not everybody can handle that kind of thing. But it's one of those, he's being, how do I explain it? I can see him changing in the sense that he's starting to understand what we're doing and why type of thing. And I was making a comment. Oh, he was talking about the potato soup, and he told me I didn't have to make it if I didn't want to, because he doesn't want to mess up what we're doing. And he says, "Mom, 30 pounds ain't nothing to sneeze at." Because he's lost 65 pounds in order to go into the Marines, and so he knows what it takes to get there. And he's like, I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree in the sense that he's heavy, but he's more muscular heavy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when he was in the Marines, every time he stepped on the scale, he would always weigh more than what was allowed. And so the only way to pass the requirements is they had to take a measuring tape and measure him, and he would measure inside the requirements every time. He's just got a very big, muscular build, or big, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, just a frame.
Yeah, he's just big. He's this big walking mountain of a guy, but he's not fat. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's admitted that he has put on weight since he's been home.
Since been out of service.
Since he's been out of service, yeah. But he still doesn't look fat. You can tell, instead of having this kind of frame, it's more this frame.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, he's being respectful. I was just thinking I would like to make him, since he made the comment he would like some potato soup, I would love to make him some. Now it doesn't mean I have to.
But you feel good about doing that for him.
Right.
Because
right.
he's enjoying it, so you seek pleasure that you're pleasing him.
Right. Yeah, that's basically
I
all
understand.
it is. But I was just thinking I could see if I could change the recipe where it's healthier, a healthier choice.
Okay.
And look at the calories and all that kind of stuff and see if it's okay.
I think it's a great start.
Is it turnips or parsnips? I was wondering about as an alternate for potatoes. Are they starchy or not?
Turnips. Are they turnip greens, or are they?
The turnip itself.
Turnips.
Because we're
the root vegetables.
The root, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be fine. You can try it and see. I think it's a good alternative. You can see what it looks like on your MyFitnessPal. I've never had anybody ask me to replace a potato with a turnip, so that's a good question.
Turnip or parsnip, I think is the other one. It's the one that looks like a giant carrot.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah, root vegetables are typically a little bit higher in the starch, obviously. I mean, carrots are higher in calories as well. So, you know, it might be along the same lines.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I was trying to think of. You know, if you cook it just enough, it might be more potato-like thing, but not as starchy as the potato.
Sure.
So I was thinking I might have to do some homework on that one.
Okay.
And see what I can find out.
Try not to use flour as your thickening agent. You can use cornstarch.
I never use flour or cornstarch.
You use mostly just the starch
potato.
as the thickening agent. Okay.
Yeah, I just put potatoes in there and I put it through a shredder type of thing, and that usually, and then when you boil it enough, it eventually does get pretty thick.
Right.
But like I said, somebody likes it thick enough to stand up.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's not going to be that thick.
Well, let's see where your weight is. And I ordered your dial basket. It'll probably be here. They're back ordered, so I'm hoping to get it by the end of the week, not first of next. So.
Okay. Yes, they seem to be having issues with that stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a fairly new product.
Oh.
So, and we're actually going to be talking to the manufacturer. We're actually going to have we're going to put up a web store for us. 283.4. 283.4. So down 3.
3?
Yep, right at 3. 1 month or 1 week left, you could be out of the 80s. So let's plan on next week measuring your metabolism.
Okay. So don't even take my pills or.
No, take your pills.
Okay.
Yeah, take your medications as normal.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, you just need a 4-hour fast.
Okay.
So if you take them in the morning, if you need to take them with food, take them in the morning if you can.
Okay.
That's fine. You're right at 30. You're right at 30 pounds. You came in at 313. So that's really good.
So a couple more pounds would be that 10% you were talking about.
Yeah, 1 pound.
1 pound?
1 pound.
Yeah, that's a breeze.
Yeah. So that's why I said I want to measure your metabolism next week.
Okay. Did I tell you I bought me a new swimming suit?
You did? Yeah, I think you mentioned that last week. You were going to do that. Yeah.
I got me a new swimming suit. Debating, I was thinking I might buy me a new outfit or something on my next.
What's your height again?
5'3".
Let me see something real quick.
I was thinking, the chart that I was looking at said my weight I should be is about 140.
Yeah, but I don't know if, I think we take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's look here. So here's the thing. In 2 months, you dropped 5 points on your BMI. So you went from a 55 down to a 50.
Wow. It's a bunch.
So the goal is to get you, first goal is we got to get you out of 50. Obviously.
We're almost there.
Yeah, then the next goal is we got to get you out of the 40s.
Right.
Okay, because then you predominantly, that's a big move. 5 points on your BMI.
I've been trying hard.
I know.
Trying to be a good kid.
I wish I could get my BMI down a little bit too.
Yeah. Obviously the main goal is to get you out of 30s. To get you under 30. That is the number one goal. But right now we have to focus on, all right, next phase, get you out of the 50s, get you out of the 40s. Right? And then we can start figuring that out. So, but that's a huge, so class categories, right? Being overweight is 25 to 29.9. Being obese is 30 to 34.9. Being severe is 35 to 39.9. Being what we call morbid is above 40. Right? So we want to get you completely. If we can get you to 40, you've moved 15 points on your BMI.
Wow. Right?
That's equivalent from moving from 40 to 25. Right? So I think that's the same movement. That's a lot of weight. Right? And I think that's really, really important to understand is even though the class category won't change that much, the volume of weight speaks tremendous benefits, to what we're going to see. So, okay. So 5 points, that's really good. That's really good.
Oh, we get the bod pod next Tuesday.
Okay. All right, so let's look at your schedule for next Wednesday. Let's see what we have.
Oh, and that Greek yogurt, I love it.
You do?
Yes.
Good.
We went to the movie theater and I cut up an apple into chips, you know, like chips, and then I dipped it like a chip and dip type of thing. It was good. I'm beginning to think I might start using it as a replacement for sour cream or something.
That'd be okay. Let's see here. I've got one morning time available next Wednesday. We can do an 11 or we can do a 2:30.
11 will work. Especially if I can't eat before I come in.
Yeah, so you just don't have anything after 7:30 in the morning.
She's not even up then yet.
And I usually wake up around 9.
Okay. How's your sleep?
I had a couple of nights this last week where I just could not sleep. You know, like Sunday morning, you know, I'm not surprised that the weight is higher on Sunday morning, mainly because I have to get up so early in the morning to go to church. You know what I mean? And I go to bed, I think I got maybe 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
You know, and so obviously I'm not ready to go to the bathroom for another 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So on Sunday I'm not too worried about the weight being higher than the rest of the week. But I had another night where I think I only had like 4 hours sleep, and I just couldn't go back to sleep no matter what, so I just got up and started doing stuff, you know. And I had been up all day long, went back to bed. Had a very strange dream.
Next week we're going to briefly talk about holiday eating, because Easter's in 2 weeks. So we'll talk a little bit about Easter. Okay.
I'm trying to think of what was the naughty foods on Easter.
Ham.
Mostly it's ham, deviled eggs, mashed potatoes.
Potato salad.
Yeah.
Our family usually makes big old potato salad. That's the biggie. No potato salad for me.
All right. Good job.